You guys can't hear me. Oh dear.
There we go.
Oh, okay. So we were having some network issues, and apparently we're having some audio issues. It's not just us. Our friends from Haunting Live podcast were having technical issues last night too. But here we are, and I am glad to see everybody. I hope you're having a fabulous week. This will be our last live show before Christmas. So any of you that's seen my Facebook post at the end of the show at 10 o'clock sharp, I am going to read to you a story called My $20 Christmas, which is a story written by your queen herself. It won a prize. It got published, and I'd like to share it with you this Christmas. Anyhow, with time for us to get started, I did get a request on. Somebody sent me an email who wanted me to look at a baby for 2021, and she didn't want her name used. And so we decided we'd call her Empress because that's a card that's associated with pregnancy. And then we thought we'd go one better. And so she's going to be known as Niao Niao, which is one of the Chinese dialects for Empress. So Niao Niao and a baby in 2021. Okay. Now be changing diapers in 2022. Well, let's see. Okay, so cut the cards into 3, and your middle card is 7 of Swords reversed. So this is kind of shows an end of some unpleasantness. It shows, I think that there might be some problems there, and it literally feels like they're falling away. So you might have some sort of a short-term problem there that's prevented you from getting pregnant. Anyhow, whatever the obstacles were, that's a big thing, and that happens in a period of 7. So we might be looking anywhere from 7 weeks to 7 months. Okay, and so what works against you is you have the 8 of Wands. So this is something that just has been moving, it has been moving, it has been moving. And I know in your email, I could almost feel the impatience. Am I going to have a baby this year? Well, you didn't have one this year, but I think you will next year. You will have yourself a prince now. Shows a Knight of Cups. And I get feeling that you're going to have a bit of a big baby. I'm just seeing, how the chunky babies have the little skin rolls on their arms and legs, and I see him having those skin rolls. So you're gonna have a nice little chubby baby. Okay, and thank you for sending the email. So who's next, my dear?
Benefish wants to know about angels and if she has any messages.
Okay, so messages from the angels. Okay, so give the cards just one more shake here, and then we'll cut them into 3 piles and see what the cards have to say. Okay, basically I feel like what your angels are telling you is that they talk to you all the time and you're not hearing them. You have to work on your grounding so you get your messages a little bit more. There's this idea that you're trying the form and the ritual too much and you're not relaxing and letting yourself be grounded and one with the earth and just letting yourself actually get into a meditative receptive state. You're trying too hard is what they're telling me. But yes, they are there. They are watching out for you, and they do send you messages you just don't hear. One thing they say is about money, and basically they're telling me that to let you know the angels aren't earthbound. So they don't know as much about the earthly things. They know matters of the heart and matters of the spirit. And it's one thing that you are what I guess they would call it eclectic. You have sort of an unusual perspective religiously, and you worry that that might be the obstacle between you and your angels. And your angels want to tell me to tell you the angels aren't religious. Okay, so thank you very much. Please meditate and hold a crystal or something. Energize a crystal because there are messages coming to you. You have two angels that are close to you all the time. Okay, so thank you for asking.
Awesome. Sonia would like to know about her financial situation. She hasn't had her disability case settled.
Oh, darn. You might have to wait until, you might have to wait until next month. I just say that because as you're saying that, the phrase that my mom used to use, slow as molasses in January, and then it dawned on me, wait a second, January is just a couple weeks away. And yes, it does show that this is moving forward. Definitely not as fast as you would like it. If you notice, you have the Six of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So that tells me it's coming your way in a 6. Okay, but you will have this by the end of January. I'm sorry it's not happening fast enough, but it is on its way. And thank you so much for your loyalty, Sonia. We look forward to seeing you every week. As a matter of fact, we look forward to seeing all our viewers every week. So who's got a question next?
Who's next here? Hi, Marcy and Haunting Live. Ava, Tanya.
Oh, the gang's
Carolyn
all
is here.
Hi, Carolyn. And hi, Marcy in sunny Florida. What's it like down there?
And Ava's mom is there as well.
Oh, hi, Ma. It's so nice to see you. Merry Christmas.
Carolyn wants to know what the new year has in store for her.
Less COVID and more cuddles. Okay.
I hope it's more interesting.
Okay, 2021. Okay, when I look at 2021, I worry a little bit about some of the decisions you've made in the past coming back. I just kind of feel this kind of looking backwards. If only I'd done it this way, or if only I'd done it that way. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Be comfortable with all the decisions you've made along the way. Remember, there are no mistakes. You've got home and love here. And everybody can see that they're reversed, but what I feel like here is that it's just the best way they could bring it out, because I really get a peaceful feeling when I put my hands on these cards. It feels like next year is going to be a little bit more harmonious, a little bit more flowy, and it's going to give you a chance to deal with some of the issues that you just didn't have the ability to deal with this year. So overall, 2021 is going to definitely be a better year than 2020, but that's not hard to do. Just keep your perspective straight and put most of your focus on your home and your relationship, and you should do just fine.
Perfect. Tanya wants a reading for this week.
Christmas week. Okay. Christmas week, and apparently we're all getting locked down too. So everybody's going to be in their home for Christmas. Okay, so I know you saw the card and took a deep breath in. It is the Three of Swords. It does talk about dealing with some prickly issues. But the good thing about the Three of Swords is that this is dealing with hurt that's already happened. The thing that draws my eye is the sun around the heart, which tells me that once you deal with some of your stickier issues, and there are some issues, it feels like there's some people around that you just need to confront directly. Rip that Band-Aid off. definitely rip that Band-Aid off. I'm worried about a younger man around you. I don't know whether this is the person that you're in a relationship with or whether it's a child, because it feels like childish, but feels like it's somebody who's being childish. But I'm just getting that you shouldn't tolerate immaturity in this person. It feels like there's a little bit of immaturity, and that's not necessary. All right, all right. So you've got the Six of Coins, but it even though it's reversed, it's also on the positive side. And one of the things that the feeling that I get here, I almost hear money coming down. Sometime this week, and probably toward the end of the week, I'm just getting this kind of cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It almost feels like a slot machine going off. So you are going to get some unexpected money at the end of the week, even though emotionally is the beginning of the week is going to be a little bit difficult. Just be confrontational, deal with things head on. Don't put anything off. Deal with it and be done with it. Okay, thank you for tuning in every week. It's always nice to see you guys.
Definitely. Love seeing all our regulars. Welcome our newbies. Do me a favor, finish your questions off with a question mark. And next we got Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Cheryl wants messages from the other side.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, let me open the door.
That's one.
No,
that's one.
That's half.
That's
half.
one. What do you guys think?
Had I got up and opened the door, that'd be one.
Okay. Messages from the other side. And I'm just going to open up the runes so they can be a little blunt with you. It feels like you got somebody there. Real male energy. You know, this is somebody who's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. Okay. Messages. Okay, first off, you've got a message about wheat, but wheat is like about finances, about property. And the message is, okay, so the message is about gratitude and about not getting into arguments about property or anything like that. So it almost feels like a reminder, you know, that it's not always about the material. And sometimes when people focus in on the material, it's because they're having a hard time. Well, anyhow, it's not all about the material. Okay, the contracts are well aspected for you. So it looks like you've got a season of joy coming up in front of you. The age of Aquarius will be good to you. Which, by the way, the age of Aquarius starts on the 21st. Apparently it lasts for an age. Also, you've got some real fiery runes over here. You've got Torch, and you've got the rune of the Hunter, but it's associated with Spear and Berkana.
Can you hold them up to the camera, please?
Oh, of course I can talk to the camera. And
no, can you hold them up to the camera?
Oh, can I hold them up to the camera? Okay, so the last ones you've got. That one's hard to see. That one's Keenaz. That one's Torch.
It's still hard to see.
Yeah, this was probably a little easier to see.
No.
And that one's Rune of the Hunter. And then you have Berkana. And this tells me that when the spring rolls around, things are going to get fiery for you, and you're also going to enter into a period of fertility. And so if you're looking to bring a baby into your life, spring is a good time to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Well, that was hardcore. Stephanie would like to know what's going on with her and Salia's this coming year.
Okay. Another New Year's one. Ooh, there's a good handful. Let's toss them out. Okay, 2020. 2021 starts out with success and fertility. So you've got Berkana. How about if I hold up to this one?
No, because that's not on the screen.
Oh, okay. So you've got the card of the goddess, and you've also got the rune of the goddess, Berkana, and you've also got the Wunjo, which is the rune of success. So between the two of you in 2021, it kind of starts out on a good note. With Berkana, that's similar to the Empress card in the tarot, so it does talk about fertility. So if that's a good thing, congratulations. And it may be, because the next two things that I get is the rune of the hunter, I was, and you also have Isa, and Isa is ice. And this tells me that you guys are going to find what you're looking for, some of the things you seek. You're going to achieve some of your goals as a couple over the winter. I like to see that, especially when I look at the road ahead, and the road ahead is love. Right here you have Legus. Legus is love. It's associated with water. And the next one you have is Kenaz, and this Kenaz isn't very dark, but it's torch, it's fire, so it looks like you got fire and love. That's a really good thing. Boy, you guys might be having babies this year. You've got right here. You've got something about the idea that be honest about how you feel, and be honest about your perspective, especially your religious and spiritual perspectives, because it feels like you might have some disagreements there. But it's kind of saying, be honest now, because otherwise, up the road it's going to be too late. Don't compromise something now that you'll regret later. Okay, the only problem I see here is that sometime mid-year there's transportation issues. Other than that, things look pretty good. Happy 2021.
Maybe more interesting. All right. Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. It's so nice to see you.
She wants to see the cards and any changes that are coming her way.
Okay.
Why don't we pull out the other deck?
Oh, my friends, the Scapini Tarot. My friend Eva, who's watching. I remember one time I took this deck and she looked at it and she goes, "There's schmutz there." They are a very old deck. There's no more schmutz on them either. So Sharon wanted to know what the cards have to say about what's coming up for her.
Correct.
All right, Sharon. You've got the Five of Cups, but it's the Five of Cups reversed. And so I worry that you might put more focus on what's not happening and not enough on what is happening. So if you can't do anything about it, let it go and focus in exactly on what you have. I have a feeling that this is going to be a really good card. Actually, it is, especially where it's, and I know it's reversed, but it's on the still on the positive side. So this talks about the Four of Wands, and there's this idea. Oh yeah, no wonder it's reversed. It's the idea of family coming together and gatherings, and of course with the Rona, of course we're kind of separated, and a lot of us are going to lockdown, and you're not going to see your family the way you want to, but you are going to find a way to connect. Because there is this feeling of connection and joy, even though it is clouded, and boy, COVID's been good at doing that. You also have the Ten of Swords, and that's ill aspected. I just worry that there might be a little unnecessary drama around you, and I hope that you're not part of it. I don't think you are, but I do think that you need to put some distance between yourself and drama. It's kind of blocking you from being as happy as you could be. And of course, you can't do anything for people who are going to be dramatic. Okay, so who's next?
I'm looking.
Well, while my producers are looking, I'd like to remind everybody that we are partnering with Haunting Live Podcast again to do another Ghosts of the Queens event in April this year. It's going to be very similar to the last one, which was very popular, and the tickets will go on sale on January 2nd. You can get them online at Haunting Live Podcast website, or you can send me an email, queenofoogaboga@gmail.com, or you can purchase them at the Queen's Inn. There are some at the front desk. Okay, so who's next now?
All right. Benefish is the second question. What's coming towards love? Is there a love connection in the future?
La 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 la
Or is there
love.
too much baggage?
Yeah, it's one of the shows we've been obsessively watching, Baggage. Okay, so love, 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 love. A lot of people looking to love today. Okay, so you have death reversed. So that means changes, but changes might not be happening as fast as you'd like them to. One thing about the death reverse, it brings change, but sometimes because the change is slower, it gives you more of an opportunity to have some influence over the change. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, and it's not in a really good place. I worry a little bit about you and boredom. So I really don't have much advice as far as what you do to battle boredom, but it does look like that might be something that you struggle with. Positively aspected in love, and this is it tells me that you're kind of making changes, going away from being ungrounded and not putting down roots to be at a point in your life where you are willing to have a plan, you are willing to put more work into it, and you are ready for commitment. So when you get, I'm actually feeling more like June is the time when you're going to be working on, really making a committed relationship. Okay, so overall, you still got ways to go, but love looks all right. Keep heading in the direction you're headed.
Well, that was for Benefish, and here we got going on for Ava. Wants the
Hi,
runes.
Ava. Oh, okay.
She wants to know about the universe.
About the universe.
We found a new planet.
Yes, we did. It's an exoplanet. So we're back to 9 planets. See, take that, Neil deGrasse Tyson, that's his name, right? Pluto isn't a planet. Well, we'll just find another one. So there. Okay, so the universe. I just get this feeling that I need to use 2 hands here. The universe is a big thing. Now, the universe is infinite, but did you know that compared to itself, infinity is actually quite small? Okay. I love it when you ask about the universe. The only thing I was thinking about is clockwork of the universe. And the first thing I get is Jera. And Jera's kind of got, I don't even know whether you can see it or not, but it's got these 2 like arrow kind of things in it. And it's talks about the wheel of the year it turns, right? So it's about harvest. But I also get this idea of clockwork, that the universe is always revolving, revolving, revolving. And then when I go here, the next thing I get is Kenaz. And Kenaz is very much like half of Jera. So I get this feeling that, like, when I look at it, overall, the answer is the universe is a clockwork. The universe is something that revolves. It's cyclical. But then when you try and look at it, it really quick falls apart and defies reason with us, even though it keeps on moving on. We're kind of getting the message like a divine message. Hang in there, grasshopper. You will learn all the truths you seek. We're strong there, but I've got a feeling, ah, there is a creator. There is, like, you've got this rune of love, so the universe itself is an act of love. Okay, so, oh, and we'll look at this one there's the last one, and that's a crowning one, is Algez. And Algez is about the tree of life. And in Viking mythology, you had the tree of life, and the branches were Asgard. And so it talks about, and just the way it is that there is a heaven, and the clockwork of the universe and the rotation of the universe all has to do with heaven and the divine creator. It's not just us. We're just a little pixel on that TV screen.
Suzanne would like to know about her year ahead and renovations inside and outside.
Okay. Suzanne, no nip and tucks. Which set in renovations in and out, isn't that what that means?
Well, I thought so too, but I didn't want to use another one.
Okay. Well, you give me a straight line, I just kind of walked right into that one. Okay, so Suzanne and renovations. I've got a feeling that this is something. I'm going to do a little bit of a different spread. Kind of a north, east, south, and west. So north talks about the grounding, and in the north you've got the Two of Pentacles reversed. So it does say that you're going to have to balance out the money a little bit, and there's not really enough to do everything you want to do. So you need to make your decisions. You need to choose your poison, if you will. And let me put that in quotation marks. So grounding wise, realistically, you need to be careful with the planning of the money, and you won't be able to get everything you want done, just some of it. East is movement and how things go forward, and the whole process. And you've got the Seven of Wands, and with the Seven of Wands, it does talk about struggle, but talks about being on top of the struggle. And the on top of it really sticks out there. You need to not just read every sentence of the contract. You've got to keep the contractor honest. There is no trust. There is no handshake. Make sure you keep them honest. Keep an eye on them. North, east, south. South, which is your fire, which is your initiation. You have the Hierophant reversed, and it's kind of this feeling. It's not necessarily that you want a home and gardens house. You just don't want a cookie cutter house. You don't want your house to look like everybody else's. So you're going more for uniqueness over style. And I think that is really cool. That's what I like best about you. And then finally, West. And West is water and emotions. And, you do have a husband there. And he shows up right in the emotions. So there's this kind of consideration. Keep in mind, I think he's kind of hooked on his little corner of the house. So there are certain things that he's not going to want to change. But, you could use that as a bargaining chip. So overall, if you plan it well, you should, I like the cards for the construction. It looks favorable, and you should be able to get a lot of what you're going to get done in 2021 by July. I get that because I get 7 and 7.
Grace would like some spirit guide messages.
Spirit guides. Grace, would you like the cards or the runes?
Well, we'll get back to you in a couple minutes on that.
Oh, well. Well, Grace, you get the runes. So,
Oh,
spirit
good.
guide messages. Well, I think the runes have been pretty talkative today.
They are.
You get a lot of fire from them today.
That's true. They can't be seen.
It's funny because this is, I think every rune reading has had Kines, and Kines is torches. It's fire, and with you, it comes up right at the top. You know, so there's this idea that you have some very active spirit guides, and look for them to be wildly communicative over the winter. I think you're going to have some pretty crazy dreams. Please start keeping a dream ledger, a dream journal, just so you can remember more of what you're getting in your dreams. There's some messages there. Your guides are also they've also got a message about truth and honesty, and basically what the message is heaven decides, you know, the divine, the universe decides the truth and what is true. That's not for human beings to determine. And so this is a part that says do not tolerate lies or liars. You know, you need to be focused totally on the truth. Things will go a lot better for you that way. Okay. Oh, nice, nice, nice. And finally, your final message is you've got some nice surprises coming your way this year, 2021, and that does it for the runes because I dropped one on the floor. So guess what, folks? We're back to my old friends, and who's next?
Da-da-da-da. Haunting Live wants to know what's going on in 2021 for Haunting Live.
Haunting Live in 2021. All right. I'm feeling like I should have used the other deck for them, the colorful deck. So I get this, I get the image of the lovers, but the lovers are in this particular deck, so it wouldn't surprise me a bit if that shows up. But even if it doesn't, 2021, you know, 2021, I see some honeymoon periods. I see relationships going well in 2021. I'm getting more of love and harmony and the good stuff, you know, that comes and goes, and it's going to be part of your reality next year. So I like to see that. Hopefully we see the lovers. The lovers card in this deck is really pretty too. Okay, so you have, oh, of course I will. Okay, so it starts out with justice reversed. And so be very careful with contracts. And be very careful with you know, like no verbal promises with Haunting Live. Everything's got to be in writing. You know, just so things don't go unfairly for you. You want to make sure that things are spelled out in advance. Okay, so negatively, you have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles is reversed. So it feels like you're not going to have enough money to do everything you want to do, but you will certainly have enough to do everything that you need to do. So that's just how money works. That's not that bad. You have justice and judgment together, and they're a little ill aspected, but there's this idea that you can get the best of what's there with judgment and justice if you guys are just a little bit more clever about how you set things up. Again, no handshakes. everything needs to be spelled out in a contract just to make sure that people are being straight with you and square with you. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you every week. And we really look forward to April's event.
Ivory would like a general reading for this week.
Hi, Ivory. It's nice to see you. Welcome back. And this week for you in particular.
Push him up.
Okay. Ivory, don't let anybody sell you short, and don't let anybody undermine your confidence. Because I know that there's strength and confidence in you, but I get a feeling like there's somebody around you who's a little bit weaker than you, who's trying to kind of gaslight you. You know, well, I was stronger than you at one point in time, so I'm stronger than you forever. No, you need to be confident and have a little faith in yourself this week. More faith than other people have. Good, good, good. Yeah, don't be discouraged from taking advantage of an opportunity that's being presented to you. I really worry that you're kind of being undermined here. Like somebody's making you lose faith in yourself, and somebody's, you know, it costs you. Confidence is yeah, this week, remember what I said about somebody trying to undermine you. And I have a feeling that's a man, just because I get the King of Cups here. And he's ill aspected, but it's positive for you. So this tells me that what I'm telling you about confidence and standing up for yourself, you're going to do it. You're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to win the day. You know, so don't let anybody play mind games on you. Have confidence. Confidence is sexy. All right.
Sonia has another question. She has tinnitus ringing in her ear. Her doctor doesn't know where it's coming from, so she's wondering if it's spirit or something like that. I know from firsthand experience that there are medications that will cause you ringing in the ears.
Okay. Who's ringing Sonia's ears? Really? That's interesting. You see how that river goes through it right here? I get the feeling, this is a really watery card. I get the feeling that it's not like you're completely blocked off, or your sinuses aren't completely blocked. They aren't completely blocked off, but there's just enough that's putting pressure on your ear, because there's this idea of a flow not happening. Oh, yeah, yeah. I really think that you just have a little bit of pressure in your head. I know it sounds weird, but just for the sake of argument, maybe try and take, well, no, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to prescribe anything for you, but you asked me what the source of your tinnitus was. I get I just feel like it's from your sinuses. You know, and they're partially blocked off, and they're creating pressure in your ear. I am not a doctor. I'm not qualified to diagnose. I can only tell you what I see here. And that is exactly what I see. And I get this idea that, like I talked about the flow here, and negatively aspected, you got the Ace of Cups, and there's that flow. There's that flow. There's that flow. And it's not flowing. Because, you know, sinuses, there's a flow there. And here, it's almost like I can see two ears, one here and one here. And there's that sword going through it. And again, right here, right here. I know it's manifesting here, but it's right here where your problem is. Or at least that's what the cards say. I'm not a doctor, again and again and again. But this is what I get from my cards. And I hope that's helpful.
Just a reminder, folks, all readings are for entertainment purposes only. We are not doctors. We don't have anything to do with medicine. We're not lawyers. We're just ordinary folks. And these readings are just for entertainment purposes only. And who's next? Oh, I'm supposed to tell you that.
You're supposed to tell me what?
All right. It's Bree wants to know about Terry.
All right.
Are they meant to be together?
Whoops. I got some cards flying out. Okay, so. All right, so you and Terry, uh, you know, just the long and the short of it. These two cards over here tell me about you. You've got good instincts. The moon tells me that your spidey sense is dead bang on. So why are the rest of these cards so flustered? Like there's this idea that you know you should be moving on, but you're not. You're looking at what you want and what you're being offered. And yet you're not being offered what you want, and yet you're still waiting. You're still waiting. You're still waiting. Everything you're waiting for, you're going to continue to wait for. I'm sorry to be negative, but I just feel like this is not going anywhere. You're marking time there, and it frustrates me just because I think there's much better opportunity, and you know this. You get a sense of this. You know, sometimes we get stuck, and I think you might be a little stuck when it comes to Terry, and it might be time for you to look at how to get unstuck. It usually involves putting one foot in front of the other.
Okay. Julia wants to know how she's gonna do with her daughter over the Christmas week. Is the child going to behave or not? Do we need to send Krampus?
Maybe. Well, you got two cards that fell out. And first you got the Tower reversed. So this is a child that can be precocious. Are you dealing with somebody that's tweening? I just say that because it's almost like you're so worried about her being towerish, destructive. You're so worried about her being destructive and bratty and whatever that's hard for you to enjoy. And yet, all this worry and that, she is so good and so well grounded. It's almost like she's throwing you a curveball there. And I'm going to put, I'm going to draw some more cards for you. Aw, she promised somebody she was going to be good. And she may have been bribed. But she will be good. And she'll, the 9 comes up, and it just, I don't know whether this makes sense or not, but I feel like she'll be good until 9 o'clock. So that might be when you want to leave the party. Okay.
In other words, get the good ice cream.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, who's next? Suzanne's mom is on treatment number 3.
Oh, she is such a brave lady. Okay, so, whoops. I'm just going to kind of take a peekity-poo at these cards. Okay, so. Okay, your mom, she's going forward. She has a lot of faith in herself. She has even more faith in it's like when I look at the High Priestess, I really feel like she's getting in touch with her version of God. And she's doing her version of praying. But she is reaching out spiritually, and it's giving her strength, and it's helping her. You know, there's always that power of prayer, and that's helping her. The King of Pentacles shows up, and he's reversed. And I feel like this might be your father, you know, your dad. It's not easy on him, and he's trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, but he's really having a difficult time dealing with this. His mind's just going to the worst possible scenario. But all in all, she does come out balanced. You have justice here, so there is a sense of balance. There is a little confusion in 2021 because once she's done with the treatment, she's just not sure, you know, like, what do I do next? How do I live my life next? So there's always, well, should I do it this way or should I do it that way? So it's almost like 2021 is a new reality for her. You know, there's pre-treatment and post-treatment, and it feels like it's a whole new learning curve for her. But she's doing awesome. I like the strength in her, and I like that she's reaching out, you know, spiritually. Your dad could learn a lot from her.
Okay. Well, we're getting pretty close to Christmas story time. There is one more question that I've got here, but it's about another person. I'm going to read it anyway.
Okay, and I'll decide.
How is my 102-year-old friend going to do this year? She's in a nursing home and basically healthy. She just can't hear.
Oh,
she broke
okay.
her hip right after her 102nd birthday. And that's it.
Okay, and I will absolutely look at this. She feels like she's almost like an unsinkable Molly Brown sort of thing. Yeah. She knows, like, once you get past 90, you know, a broken hip is pretty much, well, really, really bad. It's hard. But she made herself a promise. She doesn't want to live forever. She doesn't want to see 110 or 120 or anything like that. But she made a promise to herself that she was going to stick around for her 103rd birthday. Spend as much time as you can with her. You know, and try and see if you can't get her to divulge some of the stories of her youth. She was quite a salty one in her youth. But now is the time. Her most valuable commodity is time. And she's working hard to stick around. So make sure that you pay her a lot of visits. A lot of phone calls. I know we're getting kind of locked down, but I'm sure there's a method of communication, even if you have to stand in her window and wave at her. Okay.
Well, we have reached that magic moment.
It's story time, folks.
It is Christmas story time.
It is.
It's almost 10 o'clock, so we've got a little bit of filler to do.
Okay.
Jocelyn, I'm sorry we can't get to your question today. We're finishing the show with a Christmas story that Sally wrote and won an award for. But please join us again next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll get to you there. And if you like, you can email us questions ahead of time at queenofboogabooga@gmail.com. The link will be down below, as well as, follow us. That's it. Just tell your friends, follow us, hit like. There you go.
Like, subscribe. I thank you, everybody. And what was that?
I'm just waving.
Oh, okay. Like, subscribe. Thank you for viewing. And is it 10 o'clock yet? Is it story time?
It is indeed story time.
Okay, and this is, well, I'll just read it. And it's called My $20 Christmas. It was 2 short days before Christmas and 9 days before the end of a very difficult year. I'd lost a good job, got divorced, gone on welfare, worked part-time as a waitress, changed babysitters 3 times, attended the business management program at a local university, battled wasps and mice, and learned to dislodge toys stuck in the toilet trap. The old house trailer where Philip, my 2-year-old son, and I lived sat at the edge of a lonely field in Adrian, Michigan. My parents, who lived in nearby Blissfield, had helped us as much as they possibly could. The bills were paid, but we had no Christmas, no presents for the baby, little to eat, and $20 for groceries. From the windows of our trailer, the world looked bleak and dead. Several abandoned wasp nests clung stubbornly to the chrome trim of the windows, and beyond that the fruit trees stood bare. It was still cold and gray. A warm tear rolled down my cheek. At that moment, Philip began to tug at me, babbling in a language all his own. It was impossible not to smile. I picked him up for a sweet, sloppy kiss, and then the phone rang. It was a concerned friend who insisted I go to the Salvation Army for a Christmas food basket. Finally, reluctantly, I agreed. By the way, thanks, Martha. At the distribution point behind the Salvation Army building, a steady stream of ragged people filed in and out. Philip was half asleep, furiously sucking his thumb while he twiddled a strand of hair around the fingers. What does a baby know about Christmas, I thought. I hugged my son close and headed into the building. The basket distribution area was crowded with boxes and milling people. The smell of dust, cardboard, and apples filled the air. We were each given an empty cardboard box and directed to a long table in front of a stockpile of donated foods. Volunteers filled the boxes. A bag each of potatoes and apples, canned vegetables, assorted staples, and a whole chicken. Enough food to last until payday. In another room full of donated toys, we could help ourselves to whatever we wanted. I selected 3 storybooks for Philip and was headed out the door when I caught sight of a round, wind-up robot toys. It had a clear but slightly warm body, colorful inner gears, a red head, and a large wind-up key. A twist of the key confirmed it worked well. A treasure. My $20 bought a small artificial tree, a string of lights, a few handfuls of 3 for $1 ornaments, a coloring book, crayons, and some wrapping paper. Back then you could really buy that much for $20. Philip was sound asleep when we got home. I put him in his crib and proceeded to unload groceries, start dinner, and set up the tree. As evening set in, the tree provided light. The plastic ornaments sparkled like stained glass, illuminated by 20 mini multicolored bulbs, each nestled in a plastic flower of a matching color. The aroma of roasting chicken overpowered the ever-present smell of fuel oil from the furnace. I thought about tuning in the radio for Christmas music, but the silence was too perfect to disturb. It framed a perfect moment in time. Joy, gratitude, hope, of the Christmas tree. Eventually, the silence gave way to soft sobs from Philip. He was awake and hungry. His eyes, still puffy from sleep, opened wide at sight of the tree. Normally a chatterbox, Philip was quiet as we shared dinner, his eyes never leaving the tree and the lights. Christmas morning brought a dusting of snow on the ground. One by one, I handed Phil his presents. He tore the wrappings off, playing briefly with each gift, and then ran back for the next. The robot came last. I wound it up and let it go. He crawled after the toy, intently watching the gears turning, the head bobbing, and the mouth opening and closing. The balance of the day I spent winding the robot up and watching Philip chase after it. That toy, a gift from a stranger, held his interest for years afterwards. I think of that toy every Christmas and of the little tree, the $20, and the good people who make Christmas miracles happen. Now, that was 41 years ago. Today, Philip is a fine young man. Well, he's not so young anymore, but he's in his 40s. He went from being interested in the colored gears to being interested in Transformers and Legos, and then making transforming Legos. And before I knew it, he was a grown man who had graduated from university. He's a rocket scientist and a fine husband and a good father. I love him very much, and I'm grateful for him that Christmas and every Christmas following. I hope you all like the story. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week at 9 o'clock for Psychic Sundays Live.